Yes, our steering committee has OKRs as well. And so we've been working on OKR number 3. Our goal within the steering committee is to enable the community to collaboratively generate evidence and the scientific work products necessary to generate that evidence. And as part of OKR 3 is release an OHDSI community dashboard to allow for regular monitoring of the health and progress of our community. And this has really been an exciting project. I'm really privileged to be part of this with Asieh and Star and Jody-Ann and Adam in trying to understand how can we present to our community where we are and where we want to go. And so this has been really an exciting project, and we have some preliminary results to show today. And basically, the question is how do we measure the success of the OHDSI community? Everyone knows that we are a breakout success, that we are transforming the field of computational observational research. How do we, what would be the goal of a dashboard, and what are some things we want to do? So just as a reminder, we're an open science community where most of the work we do is in the public domain. And so we would like to prefer public domain data sources and public APIs. Our goal is to identify actionable information so our community can use the dashboard to identify collaborators and find new opportunities to catalyze the growth and impact of our community. We have a lot of different irons in the fire. It'd be great to have one place to go to kind of see the overall impact of all of our efforts and see how we can synergize those efforts into an engine. So we're calling this Engine of Impact. It's a great book by that name that's on how to drive value for nonprofit organizations. And as Patrick talks about systems, I like to think of this as a large engine that we are monitoring and managing to help us build out and to make impact in our field. So we have finished developing data harvesters to mine REST APIs to regularly collect measures from several main data sources. And our goal is to construct an interactive dashboard that the community can use as a compass. And just for starters, we've begun breaking it apart into 3 areas. One is education. There's a lot of education. We have 4 different communities, from data analysts to informatics to statistics to clinical research. And there requires a large level of education to be able to do robust computational observational research. And so we as a community have been developing a lot of content and contributing it to into YouTube over the past 10 years. We do a lot of engagement where we get work done, where we develop tools, and a lot of that is seen on GitHub right now, whether it's the Book of OHDSI, whether it is the software development that we do. And then lastly, we wanted to look at impact. And right now, our goal is to generate scientific evidence. And so we thought PubMed and peer-reviewed journals are a great place of measuring that. So we are also intending to keep going and looking at new data sources like Eden, which is a great learning management system, as well as the forum, where we do a lot of our dialogue on how we generate questions and answers. And so just for starters, we wanted to start with those 3. And in case you're wondering what the data looks like, since we are such a data savvy crowd, this data is fantastic. It's lots of fun. So here's our harvester on the left that mines the YouTube's channels. And what it does is it looks for all of our YouTube videos, and then it basically tracks them every month to watch how many times they're being viewed. And this is a way that we can measure impact of how many people are watching the videos and what type of videos are gaining the most traction. And on the right is a data we're pulling off of PubMed, along with, you see that we have regular. We've done with the PubMed data. We capture lots of great data on articles, from the mesh terms to the author list to the journals. And we've also done some fuzzy matching integration with Google Scholar, so we can also track its citation counts. And thanks to Star, who's done just one of our graduate students who's done a tremendous work in putting this together. So we now have built those data harvesters for GitHub, for YouTube, for PubMed. This is really exciting data. We can start looking at network analysis for our researchers and the growth of our authors, and even the topics that we're publishing into. So just to give you some out of the gate, some of our early statistics that we think are pretty exciting, we've been moving into. What I wanted to share was looking at some of the astounding impact that we've been making over the last 5 years. And so what I've done is I want to show some stats of how much we've done in the last 5 years, and then compare it to how much we've done over the last 10 years. And so compared to the first 5 years. And so this will show whether we're resting on our laurels or whether we're growing and charging as a community. So if we look at education, for instance, from our YouTube PubMed, our YouTube mining system, we looked at GitHub and we look at PubMed. So our first stat is that We have about over 500 videos that we've released as a community on YouTube over the past 10 years, but 95% of them have been released within the last 5 years. And in that time, we've done not only close to 400, well, now we've done 478 videos, but we've done over 300 hours of content that we've released. This is education of the community calls. This is our working groups. This is also our symposium, our workshops. This has really been a great way for a lot of people how to boot up on OHDSI is to go watch all the tutorials that we have built on YouTube. In total, within the last 5 years, we've seen our videos watched over 122,000 hours of watching time, which means that if you had 60 people and all they did was watch our videos all day for each week, we'd have 60 FTEs worth of hours watching. So it's really exciting to see how much uptake our videos have gotten. And we've even have some, our highest viewed video was viewed by 74 unique different viewers, which I think is really exciting to see. So these are all great statistics, but these are also setting the bar for us. So now that we know where we are, we can compare our efforts this year to see how we did last year to see if we can improve upon those statistics. So this will be a nice way of setting our own bars for where we want to go and making impact. In GitHub, we do a tremendous amount of our work is on GitHub. We have over 164 projects within the OHDSI organization alone. 50% of them were created within the last 5 years. And so a lot of our software development has been going on. We have over 400 contributors developing software within our GitHub environment. And the majority of them come from are new within the last 5 years. So it's not just the original developers within our system. We're encouraging new contributors and new projects within the OHDSI community. And of this total, this now covers over 13 million lines of code. When everyone talks about OMUP and OHDSI, they think of the data model. But you say, hey, also there's 13 million lines of code of software that comes along with it. That really is a powerful analytics suite. And just so you know, what's interesting to us is that there's been over 31 million lines of code written, 18 million lines of code have been refactored. So this is actually a healthy sign for us that the code's not just being contributed, but also being actively worked upon. And I think for me, the most exciting statistic is that we've seen over 7,000 pull requests within GitHub, which means that one software developer submits code and another software developer reviews that code with them. So we actually do a peer-reviewed code review as part of the process. And this is also a very important and healthy statistic for an open source community to develop mature code that can work in different environments. And most of those code reviews are new within the last 5 years. And so we're really growing the contributor base and the ability to do code reviews. On the publication side, we have as a community over 260 papers, but 80% of them have been within the last 5 years. So we're really seeing a large growth in the number of papers we're doing per year. And on top of that, of those papers, they're seeing over 2,700 citations. So they're being very well cited for their journals. And I think the other exciting thing to me is that of all the different authors, we look at all the different unique author names within all the publications, we have about 1,300 authors that have published papers related to OHDSI work, and 1,100 of them are new within the last 5 years. And so this is how we're setting the bar. We're setting the bar in terms of how we develop mature code, how we create educational content, and then how do we create evidence that we publish in peer-reviewed journals. And so these are the first 3 areas that we've begun mining data on, and we'll be taking the next steps of conducting analysis to create actionable key performance indicators across these different areas. We're going to be coordinating with the education working group and the open source community work group. And then we're going to be constructing interactive dashboards with drill through views so people can mine and sort and search and find publications in areas of your interest. And if you are interested in participating in our Engine of Impact task force, please let me know. And we'd love to have you join our efforts. It's been exciting data to see all the diverse efforts and being able to try to put together a strategic view of them.